Alright, it's Steve here from Steve's Model Builds again, and we're here today with another unboxing and review. I think I've managed to fix the audio. I changed over to from the Windows Media Player to the VLC Media Player, and the equalizer there is a lot better, and I think I managed to pretty much get it down right. So leave a comment if there is a problem with the audio, but I'll keep working on it. So I was out and about a bit today and just happened to pass by my local hobby shop, and I found this. Now, as you know, I'm not a big fan of Revell kits, okay, but I'm always willing to give everybody a chance. At least we won't have to worry about the flight deck being warped on this one. Okay, so this is interesting. I thought I'd give it a try. I've been wanting a Lancaster for a while. 148 scale ones they're really expensive. Uh, so, anyways, so I'm going to stick with the 172, and I have some of the 148 aircraft, and they'll be a lot of fun to build. They'll take a lot of hours, but between shelf space and everything, 148's a bit big. So, but I'm going to be building those. One of the great things about this hobby, as opposed to the model railroading, I'm not knocking model railroading. Model railroading's great. I love it. But you pretty much have to stick to one scale, unless you're fortunate enough to have the space for more than one scale. So when you initially decide to set up a model railroad, you're pretty much stuck with your decision. Otherwise, you just end up with a whole bunch of useless track. So, anyways, so I was kind of excited to see this. It was priced at $14.99. Uh, I kind of begged him down, and dude let me have it for $9.99. So I hope it'll be worth it. Okay, so another point of interest is that this particular box and version was from 1982, but the parts inside were tooled in 1963. 6-3. 2 years after I was born. Anyways, so this marks the 60th anniversary of this particular kit parts being manufactured. So just a small thing. All right, so this was before they were putting the levels on and everything. All it says is that suitable for people 10 years and up. It doesn't really say anything about the difficulty level. Uh, Unlike a lot of box art, this particular box art is just a painted model on a backdrop. It's not um, it's not originally painted artwork. It's the actual completed model painted up. And so here we go. We've got the front of the box, side of the box. Back when it was 1675, that wasn't cheap. The model number 4425. Whenever you're going on scale mates, if you can, put in the model number. That'll make sure you get the right one. Got some illustrations here, nice color pictures. Gives you the paints. And there's a note here. It says some of the features: clear cockpit canopy, 5 crew figures, quote unquote authentic surface details, movable elevators, retractable undercarriage, movable propellers, decals S for sugar, and Q for Queenie. Nothing on the bottom of the box, just plastic or regular paper. And they've included the note on the side here: the Lancaster is one of the most famous English bombers of the Second World War. This strongly built plane has been made. You can tell whoever wrote this, English wasn't their first language. So, strongly built plane won renown through sensational missions, and this version was powered by 4 Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, which allowed it to achieve a fully loaded speed of 460 kilometers per hour. The Lancaster in this kit flew no less than 137 missions and became known as Q for Queenie and later S for Sugar. It still stands, well, as of 1982, it says it still stands at the RAF base in Scampton, Lincolnshire. Okay. So this was built by the Avro, the Avro company. They were designed by Avro. Various different manufacturers actually built it during the war. And Canadians will know Avro for the Avro Arrow, which was a very famous Canadian fighter bomber interceptor of the 1950s. So the Lancasters, there were over 7,300 of them produced throughout the war, and they flew more than 105,000 sorties, that is, missions, bombing missions. One of the things that made this such a great aircraft was it had a single uninterrupted bomb bay, so they could fit big bombs in there, or a lot of smaller bombs. Not this particular version, but it was a Lancaster that flew on the famous Dam Busters raid when they bombed the dams in the Ruhr Valley. So it was very successful. It was the main British bomber of World War II. There was also the Handley Page Halifax and the short Sterling. They were all heavy bombers, but it ended up being the Lancaster that was the most produced. A version of it, for Canadians, a version of it was built by Victory Aircraft in Malton, which is now the site of Toronto International Airport. And they decided to build them in Canada. They did this with Spitfires too, as well as training and so on and so forth, because there was no chance the factories would be bombed. So it was worthwhile for them to build aircraft here in Canada and then ship them over. By the end of the run, the factory in Malton was producing 1 aircraft a day, and 10,000 Canadians were employed on the production line. So a very, very big operation. After the war, it was converted for cargo as well as aerial refueling. They were also used for anti-submarine warfare and long-distance observation. It was a converted Lancaster that took off. It was the first flight out of Heathrow Airport in the London, England area. And some were also converted to mail and passenger airliners. So you know, people would actually fly. It, you know, without bombs, it could fly a long, long way, and so it was very useful as far as that went. All right, so enough of that. Let's take a look inside. Get some light on the subject here. And yeah, here you can see, you know, this is a picture of a painted aircraft. It's not. Yeah. So we get the scale here. There's no rating or anything, but you know, you get the little bits of information here. Oh, one other note I mentioned. It appeared that whoever wrote the notes, it wasn't English wasn't their first language. Uh, by this time, Revell was owned by a German company, and this kit was actually produced in West Germany, what was then West Germany. And of course, since the collapse of the Soviet Union, Germany's been unified. So that takes it back a little bit. So we'll take a look here and see. I think this is my first review for actually taking off the plastic. Most of the other kits either didn't have plastic or I had already opened them to make sure they were intact or whatever. So let's take a look and see. Okay, let's take a look here. We got some tape. No, no tape. But it's not a side opener. It's a top opener. Which is good. Okay, and yeah, it looks like maybe this has been dented a little bit. It's an old kit, probably kicked around quite a bit. Ooh, I'm seeing some blistering on the plastic here, but let's take a look at it. Okay, so all the screws are in a single bag. And everything looks to be molded in green. Ooh, speaking of molded, it smells pretty musty, like an old book. So I don't mind that. Alright, so no external shipping packaging to rate. The box art is kind of lame, a picture of a completed model. The info is good. And sprues one bag. So as far as the packaging goes, that'll be a half a point off. So 1.5 points for packaging. Although it was nice to see the top box, the top opening box, rather than side opening. All right, so let's take a look here and see what we've got. All right, so the one figure and one piece have broken off. These look like little bits of broken sprue. We'll keep them though just in case. Set those aside. Get rid of this. All right, so this piece just fell off of this sprue when I took it out. It's all kind of whatever. Right off the bat though, I'm seeing a lot of flash. I don't know if you can see it there. There, you see it there. And you see more here. So I'm not surprised at that, you know, from the 1963 tooling. That's the way it was. Here are the clear plastic parts right on top, mostly. Again, this is broken off the sprue. Looks to be intact, no scratches. A couple scratches there. I might be able to polish those out. And not too much flash, but a bit. So set those aside. So even for 172, you can see this is you know, it's going to be a fair-sized aircraft. Again, flash, 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 flash. Got the bombs. I guess I expect that they'll just kind of sit in the bomb bay. Quality of the plastic looks pretty good, and as they hinted on the box, you know, you can see, I don't know if you can see here, but all the rivets, all the little details and so on and so forth, very nicely done. There's a nasty piece of flash sprue, whatever. That gets chucked. Put that aside. Engine nacelles. And again, lots of flash, but all the propellers are intact. Very often, you know, you'll get one that's broken off or whatever, especially a kit this old that might have been kicked around quite a bit. Alright, so for the sprues, everything looks to be here, so that's good, which I would expect with it being a, you know, original cellophane sealed box. So everything looks complete. A few parts were detached, so we got to take off a quarter point for that. And again, lots of flash. So another quarter point for that, because with a kit this old, you're going to get it. So I won't be too hard on them about that. So okay, so there we go. That's it for the box contents. See the wheels here? They'll be, yeah, everything will be real easy to paint up if I want to do that. I probably will, just to practice my painting skills. Alright, so 1.5 for the sprues. So that's a total so far of 3. As far as parts go, plastic looks to be good quality, nicely detailed. There don't look to be any warped or broken parts. Come on, Jack. The cat decided to photobomb me. And so now we're going to look. There's the decals. They look to be in pretty good shape. Jack, what do you want? I'm busy. Excuse me a moment. Sorry about that. Cat's giving me a hard time. Oh, in case you haven't figured it out, you know, the picture for my channel is Jack the cat. And as you can see, he was very impressed to have his picture taken. Okay, so these look all right. You know, with the mosquito, I managed to make them work. So hopefully, actually, these look a little better quality. But we'll just have to see. So we'll set those aside. And there we go. Instructions. Alright, so yeah, quality of plastic's good, detail looks nice. I don't know if you can see, these look like they're not warped or bent, so they should go together properly once I trim off all this flash. The decals look okay. There's no photo etch or aftermarket parts, as you'd expect. So no reason for any deductions there. That's 3 points. So that brings us up to a total of 6 points so far. Now we get down to the instructions. Nothing in addition to the information that was on the box, but why do it twice? So it's just a back-to-back sheet here. Doesn't say how many parts there are, but I don't know. Looks like 75 or 80 maybe. Let me see. Looks to be about 60 parts. Okay, so we've got the legend at the top. Again, you'll see printed in West Germany. This means to cement. This means not to cement. This means do it this many times, 2, 3, whatever the case may be. That means it's optional. And the square indicates, you'll see here, circular parts, of the ones in a circle are colored, and the ones in a square are clear. Again, with the little asterisk, snowflake, that would be, they say shown in place, but again, that would be like a sub-assembly that needs to be completed, and then it shows you how the sub-assembly fits in. And when it shows the decals, you apply decals when it tells you to. Okay, so on the first page we've got 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the second page, 6 and 7. 8 is applying the decals. And here are all the numbers for the paints you're going to use if you're going to use paints. And again, it says don't glue the decals. These, like on the de Havilland Mosquito, they're the soakant. So can transfer over. Alright, so that's it. Nothing too complicated. The instructions look pretty straightforward. There are a lot of parts. But, you know, if you just go step by step by step, it shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, there were some general and service history notes. but I'm going to take off a quarter point because they could have done a lot more with the history in any case. The instructions look to be clear. They're all black and white, but again, this is 1982, and nothing in particular for miscellaneous. So I'm going to give the instructions a 2.5. Alright, so that's a 8.5 and no bonus points. But hey, for 10 bucks, if this goes together properly, I sure won't be upset. Alright, so that's it for this review, and of course when I go to do the build, I'll be posting that. And as I said, hopefully the audio is, I might need to tweak it a little bit more, but certainly a lot better than it was. And so again, leave a comment if you're having any problems with the video, and do my best. But the root of the problem seemed to be that I was using the Windows media player instead of the VLC. Alright, so thanks to my subscribers. I'm almost at 50. I got my 49th subscriber today, so that'll be a bit of a milestone. And I appreciate everyone who stops in to watch. Hope it'll be a lot easier now that I've got the audio fixed. And I hope that you enjoy my presentations. So thanks for joining me, and I'll look forward to making more videos for you very soon. Thanks again.